Blockchain and Her Majesty Land Registry in the UK. No, I'm not getting crazy or just dreaming. The UK Land Registry is aiming to become the world-leading land registry for speed and simplicity since 2019 already. So, could blockchain be the future of the property market? My name is Fabrizio Cravero and this channel is all about property investment for the UK and overseas investors. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and let's create a community of investors that grows together. But now, your time is valuable and let's go straight to the point. It was March 6, 2019 when the sale of a refurbished semi-detached house had completed. It had taken 22 weeks, much longer than the 6 weeks the buyer and seller had expected. So, HM Revenue and Custom built an end-to-end proof of concept and sat down with all the parties involved to see how much time it would take to run the sale and purchase through the blockchain prototype they created. And are you ready to know how long it took them to transfer the ownership of the house in blockchain? Look, this is what they said. We used the video chat to bring everyone together. The buyer, Peter, was at work in Midway, and his conveyancer was in Manchester. The seller, Stefan, was in his partner's home in Gravesend, and his conveyancer was in central London. The Digital Street team were in Plymouth, with a representative from Yachty in London and Shield Pay calling in from Malaga, Spain. Once each action had completed, the application automatically informed the next party it was their turn to act. The demonstration of the technology ran through end to end in less than 10 minutes. Can you imagine how the blockchain can shrink the time it takes for the conveyancing process from 22 weeks down to 10 minutes? And the parties were located in different parts of the UK and in Europe, hundreds of miles away. This is going to revolutionize and disrupt the real estate world. And honestly, I'm so happy that this is happening in the UK. Because I invest there from Hong Kong, same as some of my clients. And this is going to be extremely useful for us, but also for the local UK buyers and sellers. So can you imagine how fast the transaction can be? But before I share with you how the prototype works, let me share with you my own recent experience that actually could have been drastically improved by the blockchain. I recently got a mortgage for my flat in London that I purchased back in 2016. That was my first investment in the UK and unfortunately wasn't really good. The price hasn't gone up since then, it actually depreciated. So I decided to get a mortgage instead of selling it at loss. And in order to get a mortgage, I've been asked to prove where the funds used to buy the flat were coming from for the anti-money laundering compliance. So, I paid the solicitor for that check back in 2016. And then again, a few months ago, 2 times, because both solicitors, the one appointed by me and the bank solicitors, went through the anti-money laundering compliance. So I paid 3 times a solicitor for the same job, when actually, if this information will have been written on the blockchain, everyone will know forever that my funds were legit. This will save a lot of time and money. So this is the workflow of how the transaction happened. And if you are a bit confused, don't worry, because I'm going to interview in the next couple of weeks Vincenzo Rana, CEO and founder of NOPS, specialized in blockchain and all the related applications, and he will explain everything very clearly for you. By the way, just leave your question for Vincenzo in the comment below, and he will answer all of them during the interview. So, in the workflow, you can see that practically the entire usual process that is already happening nowadays can be safely written and authenticated in the blockchain. On point 1, the seller solicitor checks the title from the Land Registry. The Land Registry includes charge and restrictions to the title. Then the solicitor requests the consent to discharge from the seller's lender, which then notifies the Land Registry, and the seller solicitor draft the sales agreement. On the other side, the buyer solicitor add a new charge on the property, then review the sales agreement and sends it to the parties involved to sign. Then on completion day, the title is updated on the Land Registry, and finally the charge and restrictions are shown publicly. All this may happen in minutes instead of months. This is what the Land Registry noticed at the end of the transaction. By using blockchain technology, each party was able to see a current view of the transaction, any historical actions that have been taken, and actions that still need to take place before the transaction was complete. There is no confusion on who needs to act next. Of course, we are now at a very early stage, but contrary to popular beliefs, the blockchain will bring much more transparency and security. Now, Vincenzo will clarify how that could be possible during the coming interview. And if you are skeptical about this new technology, look at what the Land Registry said at the end of the experiment. Overall, this test was a success, and we believe that blockchain technology could enable speedier property transaction, more trust in the transaction, higher levels of security, increased transparency for participants in the transaction. The possible applications of the blockchain to real estate fascinates me so much. There is so much that can be done. So if you agree with me or you're just curious, look at this video here where I show you how a real property in the US has been transferred as NFT back in February. That's just my thought, but what I want to hear from you, tell me your thought about the blockchain and real estate. Please leave your questions for Vincenzo in the comments below, and if you gain value from this video, I really appreciate if you can tap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and remember, invest with knowledge, create financial freedom, and I'll see you in the next video.